Welcome to Manufacturing Matters, the podcast where we shine a spotlight on Alaska's makers, doers, and innovators. I'm Sammy Jo.
And I'm Megan. We're here to share the incredible stories of Alaska's manufacturers and the industry experts helping them thrive.
This show is brought to you by the Alaska MEP, the Manufacturing Extension Partnership, helping manufacturers across the state to innovate, grow, and stay competitive.
So each episode, we will bring you conversations with the people behind the Alaskan-made products, the challenges that they face, and the solutions that keep moving them forward. We'll also chat with the industry experts who provide insights, tools, and strategies to help those manufacturers succeed.
So whether you're a maker yourself, a supporter of the local industry, or just curious about what goes on behind the scenes, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Lynn, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's always such a pleasure to see you guys and to be in the same room with you guys.
Totally agree.
Amazing. We have Virginia Lynn Peterson. She is the founder and owner of SWOOP. So we're super excited to have you on our podcast today and learn all about your new products and maybe hint, could be a good Valentine's Day gift.
Nice
wink. I know.
Perfect.
I agree.
Well, we want to dive in. We want to learn all about what you're up to. And for those that have not learned about you or the wonderful things that you are creating, can you please share with us a little bit about SWOOP and how it got started?
Yeah, for sure. So my background is actually in nursing. I was an emergency room nurse for a long time. And during that period, I just wasn't happy with my bras. And what I like the visualization, which is true, and I think really explains it, is when I would group my shifts, when I would work like 3 or 4 shifts in a row, I would lay out my scrubs, I would put socks on top of each day, and then I would go to put my bras and underwear on top. And by the time I got to day 3 and 4, I just didn't have bras and underwear that I love to wear for a 12-hour shift. So I made a bra and it ended up being this perfect work bra. And I made some for some friends and then word of mouth. And by the end of that first year, we had grown so much that I hired my first employee. And now we're in year 5. So we've really expanded beyond, we've expanded beyond bras and underwear at this point. So we're more like a lifestyle brand. But yeah, that's kind of how the whole business got started.
Amazing.
Yeah, seriously. I love hearing it. And I feel like we've been a part of your growth for the last 5 years. So seeing how far you've gone and all the new products and yeah, it's been awesome to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll never forget my first call with you guys. I just remember it almost made me want to like poop in my pants. It made me so scared because I was like, oh my gosh, this is like next level. Like, you think I could take this brand to this next place? And sure enough, here we are. So, it's been a ride for sure.
I love it. We saw it. We knew you could do it. You're doing amazing things and we just love cheering you on. All right. So we want to dive into the functional fashion of SWOOP. So how do you balance style, comfort, and practicality in your designs?
Well, I will say, I think a lot of it comes from nursing. So I don't think that there are that many occupations out there where you are in the same outfit for 12 hours. Especially like on a work, like when you're working. So I think designs come from that and thinking about that. So is this something that I could wear for 12 hours and like still feel really good to be in these clothes? And like, what does feel good mean? It's like, does it feel good against your skin? Is it giving you pockets in all of the right places so you can kind of function in your daily life? Things like that. So I think nursing has still been like a huge influence on our product design and creativity.
Yeah, totally. It made me think of my time in the military, and I was like, man, we used to have 12-hour shifts, and it sucked. I mean, yeah, you're in the same clothes all day long, and you guys are moving around your bodies a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Then I thought that too. I mean, military is the same thing. And we actually have had some women in the military purchase our products and, rave about it. And, you it's one of the things we love is we're really heavy in designs because we just want people to feel really empowered and feel good about themselves when they put it on. And I think military is a great analogy. It's like, and I've never been military, so I can't answer for you, but it's like, when you go to a shift in ER, it's, you get spit on, you get pooped on, you get thrown up on, like all of these things, right? And it's just nice to know, like, okay, I got my unicorn bra on, like it doesn't matter. I got this.
Yep.
Yeah, a little something for yourself.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yes. I love
Something
that.
to feel fun in, and yeah, not just like the boring standards that are out there. I love that. Your patterns are always so fun and unique. So
Yeah, what's your number one seller? What's your do you have one that
Oh.
like stands out from all the rest of
Ooh.
the patterns?
It's really funny, our florals. Like the
Mm,
florals, they
Mhm.
really outsell just about everything. And then I think followed by that are some of our animal prints. So our
Ooh.
goat print,
that's
people
cute.
fall in love with that, and our muskox. And I think the
Oh,
muskox just sells a lot because it's just such a great Alaskan vibe to it. So
Totally.
those three are our top sellers.
And the
absolutely.
florals makes me think of Alaska too. Yeah,
Right.
very Alaska.
I
Mhm.
mean, I got the
Mhm.
peonies and
Yep.
the pajama pants, and I
Oh,
love
cute.
them. So I was really drawn to
Mm,
the florals.
yeah.
No, love it. So you recently launched, so we saw on LinkedIn, a referral program. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that works and how you kind of came up with that idea?
Yeah, it actually, has been working really well for us, and I actually got the idea from Julia of Wild Haven Wools. She is, another she makes children's clothes in
Mm,
Haines, Alaska.
cool.
And she was the one who suggested it, and it's actually been a great way to create community and to get feedback on our products. So, it's basically we're calling it like a product tester. So you can sign up to be a product tester, and every time we do it's been a little bit different. So sometimes I actually give you product to take and test. Sometimes it's like, hey, like we're thinking about coming out with a new product. Do you mind like answering some of these questions for us? So this last round, for example, we're coming out with a new style of bra and just trying to decide what colors are people interested in these days. So it was a lot of thinking about those sort of questions.
Cool. Yeah, get some actual feedback from your audience.
Yeah, absolutely. How long have you been running it so far?
The first one I did was when it was probably was last year. So I'd say the first time I did it was 6 months ago or so. We did the rain pants. And
Okay.
so we picked that one was a little bit different. We picked 3 people, gave them product to, and kind of the expectation was like, here's the product, but you need to answer these questions. I need some
Mm,
photos and I need some video with you wearing this product. So it kind of becomes like a win-win where I get great feedback, but then I also get some footage to use. So it just really becomes like a win-win. The second time I did it was a little bit different. This one was more questionnaire. So we did have a application process for sure to do it, but it was pretty easy. I mean, whoever really wanted to join, I was happy for them to jump in and help answer some of the questions. I do have, the more I do it, the more I like it. And the more I think about it's just another cog in the wheel for building community. And I think that there are things we can do to kind of keep it going and to expand on it in different ways. I don't know if I necessarily have that all worked out right this second, but I really
mm.
love I love the people who are joining. It's amazing. It's like almost this like personal relationship all of a sudden that gets
Oh,
created, and people are super psyched to be there.
that's amazing because that was going to be my next question is how has it been working for you? So it sounds like it's been pretty successful and you've been getting some great feedback.
Yeah, I think it's just, for any entrepreneur out there or somebody in the product-based business, it's something to think about. It's pretty straightforward and pretty easy, versus like comparing it to like an affiliate program. It's a lot of work to get that going on your own. And there's a lot of different platforms out there that you could either purchase or attach to your website. But this one is just very authentic. I'm going to use that word. I know it's a buzzword these days, and especially moving into 2025, but it really has been a great way with not much work on my part to bring to Swoop. And I feel like it's been really successful.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in building community. I think that that's one of the best things that you can do as a business. And it's like almost out of the box marketing, but also it's how you get your loyal customer base, your loyal fans, those people that are going to give you that honest feedback, that are going to review your product, that are going to share your product with other
Right.
people. Right. So I think it's huge. I
Yeah.
think that's a great
Keep
move.
coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I like the personal relationships, right? I think that that's so important too, to give those customers also the understanding of this is a small business. Like you're the founder, you're sewing stuff yourself, or you have your small team, or what you have to go through to make it happen to make this Alaskan made product too.
Right,
Very
exactly,
cool.
100%. I always feel like I need to thank my mother for always making me write thank you notes after Christmas when you got all the gifts and you had to write all
Yep.
the thank you
Yeah.
notes. It's just, I mean, that was it. Like she taught me to build community and nurture those relationships, but I don't write a thank you note for the thank you note anymore. So, we call it there. That's too much work.
Yep.
We can only do so.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
You can only do so much.
Mhm.
You can only wear so many hats.
Totally.
Yeah.
So where can people come that are hearing this and they're like, I want to become a product tester? What's
Ooh,
the best way for them
great
to
question.
reach out and get into this
Yeah.
program?
Yep. So the best way right now is to sign up for our emails. So if you go to our website, there'll be a little pop-up screen there and you can sign up there. So the next time we do it will probably be in May. Shooting for a May. We are going to we have some new products that are coming down the pipeline, and we should have that product in hand in April. And then I would love, the next round of feedback, because products that we've had for a long time now and new products that are coming. It's like as soon as we get those new products, I just want them on people to try to get more
Mhm.
feedback. Like, what can we do differently? How can we improve upon it? Because I just think that there's always room for innovation and new ideas and always just trying to make things better. So sign up for our
Mhm.
emails. You'll sometime closer to that April, May time, there'll be an announcement where you can go ahead and sign up. And then also through Instagram, I'm sure we'll advertise it there as well.
All the
Perfect.
channels.
Yep.
Get on all the
Yeah, all
channels.
the
Follow
channels.
Swoop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta be following Swoop. Awesome. And you kind of tied us in perfectly into the next question, talking about innovation. I know we got to catch up a little bit last week about how AI has just been ever changing. So, can you share with us how you utilize AI to kind of advance your business?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't tell you everything about my chat because some of it gets kind of personal. We have a very intimate relationship at this point in time, and I just love my chat. Um, yeah, again, if you're not on chat, you need to be. I just think
Right.
it's a good thing I'm not in high school and had chat, because I probably would have not done anything. But chat chat is like really just incredible resource and has helped me in so many ways. So for example, um and what we were talking about last week was just our tunic designs. I had used AI to help me make our repeat patterns for our side panels. We still dive really hard into local artists here to help us, to create these designs to make our products extra special. But I was like, I think I'm going to try using AI and see what it comes up with. And the process was pretty interesting. I mean, it takes a little bit of time, and then sometimes it's a little bit of a download, put it into another system, whether that's like an
Mhm.
Adobe or Canva or whatever editing you use, and then you can tweak it a little bit. But it is crazy when you start to feed the chat what it comes up with. And it's just comes up with things, that would take me one, I'm not even sure when in the art world in particular that I would even be capable of coming up with that. But then using it even just to clean up an email or write a document, it's just become so much easier and has saved me so much time. So I do think it's going to be interesting seeing where like artificial intelligence takes us, because sometimes I do think it loses that personal voice. So, making sure that you are reading through and you feel good about the sound that it creates, because sometimes it can sound a little off.
Right.
Yeah. I think that that's a great point. I was doing some meal planning on there and the math was not right.
Yeah.
And I was like, Chat GPT, that is not the correct ratio. And it was like, oh, you know what? You're right. And then it spit it all out again. And I was like, I had to double check that though, right? So really,
I know.
It's a robot, but it's not perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
But you know what? It's not going to say no, and it's not going to talk back to you. So there's that.
That's true.
There is that.
Yeah. I love that you were able to put your own creativity into creating the patterns. Like, so it is your own stuff. And you told us too at the Manu Mixer that it wasn't just like a pop it in and it was done. It took a whole day and finagling and, like you said, putting it into different programs. And so I think that's a thing too, that it still takes some talent, for the people to really get it to speak your voice and hit your brand name right and make it a good fit for you. So
Absolutely.
great tool.
Absolutely. I don't think like any sort of AI system is like a one and done. I mean, I've been using it now probably for at least a year, if not a little longer than that. And I think it takes a minute to get it trained up to like where you want it to be. And even now, I mean, you still get frustrated. I was working on something this morning and I just wanted to be, hey, why are you talking like that? That's not how we talk. So, so it still happens.
Nice.
And the more you use it, I mean, the more it's going to get to know you. And that's kind of the way it works.
Oh,
the
yeah.
more, yeah.
It's a little creepy almost. I was in there chatting and new chat. And I was like, hey, yada, yada, yada. And it was like, oh, you and Kyle, something. And I was like, my life? And I was like, well, yeah, I'm telling you about my life. So
yeah.
That's how it gets better.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, and I know you guys through the MEP have been, or I've been just seeing like offerings, like talking about it and stuff. Like, I do think it is, that being a little scared of it. I do think we should all be a little like, hey, where is this taking us? What are next steps with this? Because it is I don't know. Ooh, it's
rapid.
changing it is rapid and it is a little scary. So
yeah. And I mean, we're just talking about ChatGPT. There are so many other tools and things going on with AI that there's so much. And we're just hitting one little bit.
We've been diving into like, maybe a little presentation or like maybe a little bit of this, but like there's so many platforms out there now that we'll just see what happens. We're trying to keep up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I don't mean
that's
to change
amazing.
subjects, but I just wanted to give a shout out. The last mixer the MEP hosted, it was just incredible. And the amount of people and the people, like the quality of people that were there, it was just, oh my gosh, I just have such a good time. And it's just nice to mingle and it's nice to talk work, but also be a little social at the same time.
Yeah.
And the food spread was just amazing. So, I just really appreciate you guys doing those mixers. And I hope that that continues. And I hope it gets on more people's radar, because I just think that there's more people out there in the community that I would love to get to know better or spend some time with. So just really a cool thing you guys are doing.
Thank you. Yeah, JKD Brands hosted us at the last one, and man, they really stepped it up with that food spread. They did it all themselves. I mean, it was
delicious,
incredible, and set a very high standard.
Yeah, it did. It did. No, we were so glad that you were able to show up though, and we always love catching up with you. So
yeah, likewise. Swoop will not be hosting anytime soon, just so you know.
No worries. No worries. We're going to try to get some warehouse, some,
Yeah.
I don't know yet. We don't know yet what's next. We got to plan for
We
that.
got to figure it out, but it'll be
Yeah.
fun. We're excited to keep bringing manufacturers together.
Yeah, totally.
All right. So diving into the next question, we want to talk about how sustainability is growing with fashion. Is Swoop doing anything with sustainability, and how are you kind of tackling that?
Yeah, boy, that's a good question, right? And I feel like it's another kind of buzz.
Mm,
How do we tackle this? How do we go about it? How do we stay sustainable? And it's I don't mean for it to be a loaded question, but there's a lot of different ways, right? So it's,
mm,
growth of the company and sustaining, my own mental health through all of this. And then just sustainability with our products and how do we streamline that? How do we make it more, better for the environment?
mm,
All of these sorts of things. So, our origin story, we were doing 100% manufacturing here in Alaska. And now we've slowly mixed that up a little bit where we do manufacture out of state, in particular overseas, and then still manufacture here in Alaska a little bit. So it's been interesting through this process and trying to figure out like what really is going to work for us. I always like to think in the back of my mind, if I was going to hand this whole business off to somebody tomorrow, would they be able to keep it going?
mm.
And I've been really fortunate because the people who have been a part of Swoop, I mean, they're so dedicated to the brand that I do think in that regard, it would be, it would take a person a minute to figure it out. But we do have a lot of our main people in contacts have been with us for a long time, and it could be a pretty easy handoff. So I think for me, trying to continue to walk that path is really important for us.
Yeah, it is a big question. A lot of
Right.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about when I was doing manufacturing stuff. And I mean, you're trying not to spend too much money. You're trying not to have waste. You're trying to survive. Like you're trying
Yeah.
to grow the business on top of like sustaining everything that's coming in and going. You got marketing, you got new programs and plans. And yeah, it's a lot.
Right. But I
Yeah.
do love the mindset that you mentioned where you're like, I'm already in the mindset of if I were to give the company away
Mm,
tomorrow, I mean, that is such a good, not like we want that to happen, but we've learned about that so much. I feel like in this job is like you kind of, when you're ready to exit, like that should kind of always be at the forefront of your mind. And so the
yeah.
fact that you're already doing that and making sure things are in place. So when you're ready for maybe the next thing, you're not already thinking about it now. And then you have another 2, 3, 5 years to make it in
Mm,
that shape to be able to hand it off. So I love that.
Yeah, I,
smart.
I agree with
Mhm.
that. And again, my background is in nursing, not in business, but I just think it makes sense, right? Like, what's the end goal with anybody's business?
Right.
Yep.
And, you're right. Like, I don't want Swoop to go away. I'm not in a place like where I want to sell the business, but, I'm 53 or 4. I'd have to do math, which I'm not always great at. I mean, at some point, like, I want to live on the road and rock climb and ski every day, I mean,
Yeah.
as much as I love Swoop, it's like, come on, that's the reality. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So, what does that look like?
Yeah. We talked to an expert, Damon, who does Exit Your Way, and you're familiar. I'm over
I
here
think that
hitting this
you've
chord.
been connected
Mhm.
with them. I think you met him in person
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
I mean, Grace,
I
great
have.
point. Yeah, you want to be years in advance planning for your succession.
Yeah.
Like this is part of building a business because then what's going to happen? Just like we have a lot in this last generation where people are retiring, they're moving on to different things, and then what's happening to those businesses? Like how you get, especially the value for what you have built over
Right.
however many years. Yeah, so good to have that at the.
Forefront.
Mhm,
Yep.
totally.
Yep. I agree.
All right. So looking ahead, what exciting new designs? I know we kind of talked about that a little bit and you were utilizing some AI, super
Mm,
fun. New designs, innovations can customers expect from Swoop in 2025?
maybe that April
Yeah.
timeframe.
Yeah.
I know, right? Man, we are really excited. And I will say we are just all in for 2025. 2025 just from the start has just felt like this is going to be our year. I feel like every year is really our year,
Awesome.
but this
Mm.
year in particular, we are really going to expand our line. Bras and tunics for sure have been our best sellers and have been our best sellers now for probably for the last 3 years. But there's always, I don't know, and most mentors are always like dive into your best sellers. But as a founder of a brand, I don't know, you're just always left with this. Like, I just want a little bit more. Like, I just want there to be a little bit more from people to choose from, especially when it
Mm.
comes to bras, because I just think women's bodies are always so different and not every bra fits every woman, which I totally understand. So I think it's really been important to me to have some more options. So we are coming out with 2 new bra styles, which we're super excited about, a little bit different than what we've been doing. And we are kind of diving a little bit more into lifestyle wear. So we have some products coming out that we want to test. Of course, being up here in Alaska, we're all about cold products. So everything that we're bringing on is still more for more colder climate than, Tucson, Arizona.
Right.
So yeah, so coming out with a long sleeve, coming out with a base layer bottom, coming out with some pretty cute overalls. So
That's
I know.
exciting.
I know. So, this would be our first year launching these, and we'll kind of see how they do. But we feel pretty good about it. We did some small batches earlier this year. So if you were at any of the markets, you maybe got to see them or touch them,
Nice.
or I maybe was just asking you, what do you think of this?
Pretty sure I
Back to
saw
our
some of
product
those.
testers.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
like just trying. Did you see them?
I think I did.
No.
I don't think I
Yeah, I
did.
think
Yeah.
when I saw them, I also had the same reaction.
Overalls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
I think
We
I
know.
need
And
a
did.
I,
product tester.
yeah,
Megan's all
yeah.
about it.
I know. It is kind of interesting though. I'm glad like we're talking about this because as a smaller brand and I have my list of expanders or whatever you want to call
Mm.
it where it's just like other brands, other people, other founders, some of them I know, some of them I don't, who just like really encourage me and push me and drive me. But then
Mm.
all of a sudden you're kind of like you get this like imposter feeling sometimes. It's like, you know, I think that's like back to like mission statements and why mission statements are so important. So you stay authentic and true to your brand because
Mm.
it really is easy to, with growth and expansion, you have to be a little bit careful. It's like, well, is this really like on par with like what our brand represents and like what it is like we should be doing? Are we as especially as we expand like outside of bras?
Mm.
Because that's kind of I feel like what we've kind of been known for. And when I hear people call us like the lingerie brand, it's like, well, I don't think we're that anymore. We've really have
Right.
outgrown
Yeah.
that. So yeah, it's just those thoughts are kind of heavy with me right now as we grow because it's like this feeling like I don't want to copycat what everybody else is doing. But at the same time, it's picking colors and picking items. It's interesting to kind of think in and dive deeper into those thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's hard to say. It's hard when you're deep in it too. You're like deep into your business. You're constantly ever with it every single day, every single day. And
Right.
so I feel you. Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
getting around those people that can help lift you up and we're all feeling that, like we all kind of go through that to where it's um, is it gonna be the right thing? Is it gonna work
Right.
out? But
Yeah.
it does. It normally does.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it normally does. And I think, for me, it's just something, again, back to like the product tester um,
Mm.
program that we've been running and just talking to people. It's like really diving in and listening to what your customers are wanting. It's hard not to bring some of these items on when I just feel like we get so many asks for them and then we'll
Yeah.
make them uniquely ours, right? I mean, like
Right.
that's just it.
Exactly.
It's like
Uh,
like
There's hope.
yeah, there's so many long sleeves out there. It's like, right? But it just still makes sense that we need to bring one on and we make it swoop. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of
'cause
our
you
I
got
plan.
love
your own
it.
style. Yeah, all
Yeah.
the colors and things. I just saw an
Mhm.
ad for Viore. I mean, we all know it's very big in REI and things, and they're literally making everything. I'm like, wow, they make everything.
Mhm.
Everything. Clothing,
Right.
activewear, guy stuff, girl stuff. I'm like, a lot of these clothing brands, they have their style, they get their base group, they grow, and then they figure out what their people want.
Right.
Right.
And
Yep.
I wanted to say something that I learned that I was like, "Oh, I love that." I can't remember who said it once, but it was like, "There's room for everyone at the top."
Mhm.
So you don't need
Oh,
to
yeah.
feel like an imposter. You need to feel like, "Hey, I'm doing this super cool thing and I'm ready to grow. And this is what my people want." And it doesn't matter if maybe there's other long sleeves because it's gonna be swoop. And you
Yep.
have your loyal customer base and people are gonna wanna buy it.
Mhm.
Yep.
Totally.
Thank you. That is exactly what I needed to hear today. I knew I needed to be on this call with you guys.
You got it. You're making the right decisions.
See, one of Sammy Joe's strengths, I think, was cheerleading. Wasn't it? It was like
Yes.
cheerleading. And I was like, oh,
Yes.
perfect
Yeah.
person to go.
I'll cheer
I
you
love
on
it.
always.
Yes.
We can start to turn this into like the therapy group too. So founders can come on here and you guys can just hold our hand and guide us through anytime. Would love that.
We're here for
They're
you.
like, yeah, we're here to help you advance
Yeah.
in all the ways. Yes.
So moving on with Valentine's Day, I know I did my little awkward wink earlier, but Valentine's Day is around the corner. So people that might be listening this, and this is gonna be the day before. So hurry up, get on
Mhm.
Yeah.
Swoop, what your loved ones
Yep.
want.
Last minute shopping. If you ever,
Yep.
we're here in Anchorage. So if you ever want to do a local pickup, super easy. Just shoot us an email and say, hey, I'm putting an order in. I want to pick it up. No problem. We won't charge you for the shipping and you can just swing on by and pick it up.
We love that.
Love
So
that.
with Valentine's Day in mind, Lynn, what would you say is the best gift to give someone you love of Swoop related item?
Mm.
I think the most bang for your buck swoop item is to dive into one of our bra and underwear bundle sets. So that you get a little bit of a discount on buying the two together. And it's so funny when you start selling bras and underwear. Most of my life, I never really cared about the matchy match. But then all of a sudden, when you know, I have all these bras and underwear. It's so cute to be matchy match. So
Yeah.
we don't care when you buy the bundle which one you match it with, but it is just kind of fun to have the unicorn bra match the unicorn undies. So I would say that's a great place to start. And then I mean, I can't not say not to buy a tunic. If you haven't tried one of our tunics, I highly recommend. I mean, we have people who come and they buy one in every color. I'm like, gosh, how many tunics does one person need? But sure, buy all the tunics. I am all
More.
for it.
We
But
need more.
um
Yes.
yeah, but they are definitely kind of a game changer. And I was just
Mm.
talking about this with somebody else recently. It is my favorite when I travel piece. One, because I think planes are always a little on the chilly side. So it's the perfect weight where you can take off your jacket and you still feel plenty warm. You don't need another piece on top of it. The hood, if you're taking a red eye flight, I just put that hood on and I am just so cozy and tucked in there. The tunics are so soft. It's really even hard to describe like how soft they are. It's like petting the belly of a bunny. I mean, it's just like one of the like softest things out there. And so it's just that comfort and the quality, they just go hand in hand. So yeah, so website, if you're on the website, the bundles is a good place to start, and then definitely check out the tunics while you're there.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think that's great.
Yep.
Or even like you got the PJ
Yeah, you got
pants and
the
things, Yeah, you got all the different options.
Yep.
I love the bundled set though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very
Be
smart.
texting that to Nate later, those gift ideas. Those bundle
Smart
set.
idea. Smart idea.
Sometimes they just need a little push, little
Most
Yeah, oh,
times.
yeah.
Yeah.
most times.
Most times. Most times.
All right. So diving into your entrepreneurship journey, what has been the biggest lesson you've learned with growing your brand, and what advice would
Mm.
you give to
Oh.
another aspiring designer, entrepreneur?
Yeah, man, I just was that is so I think I really think in life we are really just trying to make the best decisions we can with what we know and where we're at. So I really don't think like we make mistakes through this. They're all learning lessons, right? So yeah,
Mhm.
of course, maybe I'm not going to make that same decision again. So one of the things I did in the beginning when my first manufacturing run, and we haven't actually had that many manufacturing runs, so I still like to think like we're still new to the manufacturing world, although we are starting to do it more. But
Mm.
I ordered 5,000 bras and 5,000 units of underwear. Well, I still think back to that, and I just wanna blame my husband because, of course, like, it's always his fault, but I was like,
Right.
"I don't know where I got this number from." Like, I mean, literally, I think I woke up in the morning and I'm like, "5,000 sounds good." Well, when you do a manufacturing run, you don't need to order 5,000, but that was kind of a new concept to me. I didn't know. I was planning on going to a trade show, so I just felt like, "Okay, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna have enough inventory because I'm gonna get all of these orders, and it's gonna be amazing."
Mm.
Well, one, financially, I mean, that was it's like now since then, year 5, we just still aren't in front of that many people to have that turn around that fast. How's that? And especially like within like I
Right.
think we were like year 2,
Mm.
getting closer into year 3 at that time. So it was just a lot. So I think looking back on that, things I could do differently, and this would be my advice to other entrepreneurs, is sometimes we really feel alone, but don't ever be afraid to ask for help. And
Mm.
even if I'm asking a question to the wrong person, they still may know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who could
Right.
help answer that question for you. And I just think that that is probably the biggest thing is that you're not alone, that there are I think one of my biggest things being in year 5 is I love to give back. I just love the ability when I see a younger entrepreneur who comes to me and they're like, "Hey, like I just have some questions. Do you mind like sitting with me?" It's like one of my favorite things. So, yeah, so I think that's it. Just know that you're not alone. Always ask for help. The MEP is a great resource. So, if you have a question about manufacturing, throw it out there. Like somebody's going to be able to help you. And if they can't help you, which most likely they will be able to, they know somebody who can help you. So,
Right.
just try to make good decisions. And again, no decision is a wrong decision. It just kind of launches you more forward. But, yeah, I mean, I think it goes to show like how bold and a risk taker I am without me ever really realizing that about myself. But, yeah, I think that that's what I have to offer on that one.
I love that. How many
Yep.
patterns out of were in that 5,000? Was it just like one pattern or
5.
5?
5, a
Okay.
thousand
Okay.
a
So
thousand
1,000
of
of
each.
each. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. That's more digestible, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still
Yeah.
a
We
lot.
need the risk takers though, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it was a lot. But it's like now now I would not just wake up one morning and pick a number. I mean,
Right.
Totally.
this whole like working backwards and like, how
Mhm.
many people do we have shopping through the website? How many? And I have a lot more data
Mhm.
now too. So that
Right.
helps you
Totally.
make better decisions. But I mean, I literally do think I was just like, I think 5,000 sounds good. Let's just do that. That sounds great.
But you know what? You had to start somewhere. And
And you
now
made it
you know.
happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
you did. So that's huge.
Totally. Totally.
No. And I love the advice because you're not alone. And I feel like we hear that a lot. I mean, you were a manufacturer.
Mhm.
We hear a lot all the time that they feel like they're in it alone. And I think that's a big part of what Megan's really been trying to grow too, with bringing it all together with the mixers and making sure that manufacturers know that,
Yeah.
hey, look, you're surrounded by other people. Maybe they're not doing clothing, but maybe they know someone, or maybe it's a packaging thing that you can connect on or
Mhm.
collaborate with, or maybe you're making someone that goes into a tea item or what have you. It's just, you're never
That
alone.
ask. It's
Yep.
that ask. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
you said, it's like asking the question, and then
Right.
if that person doesn't know, they can connect you to somebody else that does. Because really, I think when you are in this space, sharing the knowledge, sharing just sharing how we can overcome those things. I mean, we've gone through hurdles, right? And it's like, I've almost pictured it like what you tell your kids, you're like, don't make these mistakes, right? It's like the same thing in business. You're trying to just be like, don't make these mistakes. I've learned these lessons the hard way.
Right.
Yeah. So great advice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with Swoop growing so quickly, what's the future of the brand and where do you see it going in the next 5 years?
Oof.
Oh man. Yeah,
That's a big
that's a
question.
real
I came up with it too, and I'm like, wow.
I know you got really heavy questions right now. Because part of me wants to say we're just taking it day to day, but part of me, you know, I'm gonna say this because I feel like I'm pretty open. It's kind of interesting, money. So a business making money. When I first started Swoop, it was never about the money. And my core right now, it's still not about the money. But unfortunately, making money in a business is part of a metric, right? So like we, especially as we grow and we're about to hire a couple new people, we have to have money to build the brand and to hire the people and all of the things. So you know, it's a personal goal is to create $1 million business. And so that is kind of my hope over these next couple of years that we hit those numbers. I like to kind of think, and why do I want to hit that number? Because to me, that's like really like the follow-up question to that, like why $1 million? But for me, this is kind of a bridge product. Like I just think that somewhere in there after Swoop, this is going to push me forward into something. I am not quite sure what that is yet. I'm sure it will have something to do with like mentoring, because I do love giving back, even in my nursing career, like being a mentor to like new grads or to new people to the department has always been like one of my favorite things. Even in my personal, like with skiing and rock climbing, being able to teach people how to do these things. So I just really feel like if I can make a bra and somehow turn it from a side hustle into a small business to $1 million company, like I want to be able to give all of that back. So kind of recapping, I mean, sure, it's got to be about the money to some degree, but I think that there is something amazing about that $1 million number that I feel like if I can hit that, it's going to put me in a really great place for what's next in my life.
I feel like this is a perfect chat conversation, which I'm sure you've already had.
Yes. Ask me a heavy question, you're going to get a heavy answer. So there you go.
No, I love that. I think that's a great goal, and you're on your way to it. Yeah, I'm sure it's only growing year after year.
Right. And it's good to have. I'm glad that you do have that number in mind. And yeah, it's not about the money, but it's good to like dream and to have that goal, or else you don't know what you're working
towards. Gives you a
towards.
target. Yeah, it gives you a very clear target to be able to make it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And I'm
And
excited.
and linking it back to like, our inventory purchase, it's like all of a sudden it's that working backwards. Like if we want to make $1 million this year, then we need $1 million in product to make that happen. Right. So it's this whole like, okay, what are the goals? Like, what are our financial goals this year? What are they going to be next year? What is it that we need to do to hit those numbers? And instead of trying to like look at it like, okay, great, now I have 5,000 bras in my hand to do things with, we're doing it backwards. We're like, okay, we want to make $1 million. Now we need 500 bras, I'm exaggerating, but it's the working backwards piece, which I think is something that actually kind of makes it a little easier sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
little less intimidating. I like the elephant, right? You can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. And so we got to kind of dissect that elephant and see where we're starting.
Right. To hit that goal. We'll be here cheering you on the whole way.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Before we get to the very end,
Yeah,
would love to ask about your experience. You talked a little bit about the MEP, but you had a special connection with Kurt. So tell us about that. How did you get introduced to him? Tell us a little bit about Kurt and what you're doing with him.
Yeah. Well, Kurt, he's like an e-commerce specialist, mentor, has written a book, works with Damon, who we've kind of talked about earlier.
Mm. Yep.
I met him in the beginning, and it was a class through the MEP. And I'll be honest, I don't quite remember how I got signed up for it. I'm sure I saw it on there, and I just thought like, oh, this looks like right up the alley. Can I get into this class?
Mhm.
But it
Right.
was like a basic, like a simple marketing class, and we really dove into um, your business and looking at who your ideal customer is, which is like really
Mm.
important. Kurt calls it your soulmate, and to this day, I still call it the same thing. So, like, who is our soulmate? Who is Swoop's whole soulmate? You know, where do they
Yeah.
eat? What do they eat? What do they read? Where do they hang out? Where do I find these people? So it's kind of a deep dive into that, and then kind of just a 101 in marketing, like what's SEO? How do you build SEO?
Mm.
You know, social media and posting and where you need to spend your time. It's just been an incredible relationship for me. So I finished that class. We stayed in touch. MEP, I think, had another program that connected me. It was like a mentorship program. So I worked with Kurt for
Mm.
that was like another year where he and I met on a monthly basis. And he was just kind of my business coaching partner. And now we just still continue to meet. And I think Kurt would be okay for me saying this, but I think I encourage him as much as he encourages me. So I think it's just been this like win-win. And I owe all of that to the MEP. I mean, you guys have just been the amount of education classes that you guys offer, and you know, back to the mixers and
Mm.
everything else. You guys are just such this golden resource that I just hope more people discover you, because it's just crazy the amount of, offerings that you guys have. And a lot of it's free, which is even more incredible. So
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that that has gone well. Kurt's like our uncle too.
I know. I call him Uncle Kurt. We just love Kurt.
Yeah, he's so such a ball of energy.
He
Always
is.
positive, always great. I love seeing him in person. I love it when he puts
Mhm.
us on shows all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Just lifting
yeah,
people
he's
up.
great.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know his website off the top of my head, but maybe when this
Yeah.
airs, we
B2B
can put,
sale. Yep.
yeah,
B2B
because
Teal. Yes.
there you go.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll make
Yep.
sure to put it on in the show notes and everything like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, I wouldn't be where I am without the MEP. And a shout out to the
Mm.
SBDC as well. I mean, these programs, I think, as being like an entrepreneur, I mean, it's been incredible for me, and it's been my own little personal education path, like learning from you
Yeah.
guys and what you guys have to offer.
Agree.
Awesome. Well,
Same.
it's been an absolute pleasure working with you, and we love continuing to see where Swoop grows to $1 million.
Heyo. Totally.
Yeah. Woohoo.
All right. Well, to wrap up this incredible interview, so thank you so much, Lynn, for taking the time. We like to end this with one signature question. What does or why does manufacturing matter to you?
Yeah, another big question, but
It's a big
of
one.
course. Yeah, it is a big one. You know, where would we be without it, right? I mean, manufacturing makes the world go around, really. And I think all the things like we've kind of talked about, doing it ethically, doing it
Mm.
sustainable, they're all really important. And I don't know, with your guys' help, I get to kind of continue to walk that path and to build a brand that, people love.
Hell yeah.
Love that.
Love that so much. Yeah, it does. It touches everything.
It really does.
Literally everything. It's
Everything.
crazy. Yeah.
Mhm.
What we're sitting on right now, what we're wearing, where our computer's
Yep.
on. It really does.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank
amazing.
you so much, Lynn, for being with us. It was always great seeing you at the mixer, coming on, learning more about where you're going, what you're doing. What else you got, Sammy?
Yeah, we're just here to cheer you on. And thank you so much always for taking the time. And we look forward to continuing this journey and cheering on Swoop. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate being here.
All right,
Awesome.
y'all. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap on another episode of Manufacturing Matters. A huge thank you to our guests for sharing their journey with us.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a fellow maker.
And want to take your manufacturing business to the next level? Visit alaska-mep.com and schedule a free consultation with our business team.
Until next time, keep building, keep creating, and keep proving that manufacturing matters.
Crushed it.